my name's Philip Foster. I'm actually a retired Anglican clergyman, and I became interested in the climate issue about 10 years ago when I realised that instead of thinking of 2 to 3 degrees rise in temperature, it was only half a degree. And I began to look at the science, because my background is in science. I have a degree in science from Cambridge, and so that's what got me going on this. And my researches, along with much help from others, led me to talk to people who were involved in the climate issue. And the first thing that on the public scale we did was a conference in Copenhagen in 2009 that coincided with the COP15 tragedy, if that's what it was, where we had a number of the speakers we've had today. We had Nicholas and Piers was there, and we had Ian Plimer, we had Lord Monckton, who was certainly good value if nothing else, and we did a 2-day conference presenting the other side. And much to our astonishment, we had a lot of journalists turning up, many of them saying because it was so dull at COP15 for a start, and secondly it was obvious that we were enjoying ourselves and we also had something to say. So that was 2 years ago, and really things have been just trying to flag ourselves up. We had Climate Fool's Day last year, and this year, with the help of a colleague, Reverend Ian Walters, we organised this conference, and well, you've seen hopefully the result, which has been quite positive. One of the things in the course of my research about climate change was a decision that the time had come to write a book on it, from a Christian perspective, because obviously I'm a Christian minister, and the title I chose was While the Earth Endures, which actually is a quotation from Genesis 8, where God promised Noah that while the earth endures, summer and winter, harvest and seed time will continue. And in other words, God is not going to pull the plug on the weather or anything else until he calls time. And so that's the origin of the title. Part of the book is actually looking at how we understand Genesis and science, which was an enjoyable thing to do, partly because some of my fellow Christians have, I say cautiously, somewhat strange views that the earth can only be 6,000 years old and so forth. And I don't think that's fair to the Bible, and I think it's not very good witness to do that. So we look at the big picture, we look a little bit at evolution in there, that's a different topic, but then we come to climate change, and unless you understand the length and the age of the earth, you're not going to understand the amazing variations of the climate of this planet and how it's all natural. Anyway, so that's what the book's about. If you want to buy it, you're very welcome to do so. Try Amazon or try me.
And tell me, how would you rate today's conference? A success?
Well, I'm still sort of, I feel it was successful. We packed a lot in, a lot of people, a lot of interesting speakers from all different angles, and I felt that it's got everybody buzzing in the best sense, that people have got lots of stuff to feed on, lots of stuff to discuss, lots of networking, which is always important at these events. You know, getting to know people, swapping addresses, getting ideas as to what to do locally, what to do with your MP, besides string him up. Better cut that out.
Are you saying all our human efforts at factories and emissions are not affecting the climate?
Hardly at all, and I want to qualify that in the sense that, yes, it's true that a town or a city, for example, will have an urban heat island. It'll be warmer than the surrounding countryside as a general rule because of concrete, because of heating plants, because of factories, blast furnaces, and so on. But this is purely local, and the wider climate simply absorbs it without the slightest flutter of an eyelid. It's a purely local effect. Yes, in that sense we affect the climate locally, but it's tiny and it's of no consequence.
Okay, thank you for your time.
Well,
to perhaps run occasional meetings with 1 or 2 speakers to widen the issue and to get, yes, young people involved. Now these sort of organisations always say what a wonderful idea this is, and it's not always so easy to bring off on the ground, I appreciate. But we know where you live, most of you have applied. If you've got a ticket today, if you could make sure somebody knows your name, address and email, if you haven't registered by that means, that would be great.